Okay, it's recording.
Recording now.
Yeah.
That was fast.
I,
Shit. Anyways, you want me to label that?
uh, yeah, sure.
Okay, so sieve tube element is the outline. The plasmodesmia is in between each outline, which is the sieve tube element, and the sieve end plate is at the bottom, middle, and top. It's like in between each plasmosmia. And the companion cell is on the far right. It's separate from the entire tube.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then the functions of phloem. It transports dissolved sugars and amino acids. These foods are taken to places where they are used or stored. This movement of food is translocation, which is an active process that needs energy. It also transports manufactured substances such as hormones. Supporting tissues in plants. The development of supporting structures have been important for the evolution of terrestrial plants. The following parts need supporting tissues: the leaves, the petiole and stems, trunks, and roots. So the leaves, so that they can be flat and horizontal for maximum exposure to the sun. Petioles and stems must be able to support the leaves above the group in the best position for optimum light. They must support the flower in a suitable position for optimal pollution and seed dispersal, and be flexible in order to withstand forces exerted by weather. So then the trunks, it must be flexible and stand to support the weight of the tree and resist pulling by the wind. And roots, they must anchor the plant in the soil against the effect of the wind in the treetops.
Okay, so tissue structures that give support. So the turgid parenchyma is in stems and leaves. They give mechanical support. Um, Turgidity is a large fluid-filled vacuole that presses against cell wall. Turgor pressure. Supporting tissue is terrestrial plants have three types of supporting tissue: collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and xylem. These cells can be combined to form cylinders, which give greater strength and stability, have flexibility and strength. Secondary thickening. In some plants, it involves the laying down of additional lignified tissue, added support and strength, and annual or growth rings. In dicotyledons, tree trunks give stability,
Mm.
and that's the tissue structures that give support. So, anatomy of dicotyledonous. The tissues of multicellular plants are organized into organs which carry out various functions. The primary vegetative organs are the roots, stems, and leaves. Roots are anchor plant and absorb water and mineral salts. Stems links leaves to the roots and provide support for reproductive structures, and leaves produce sugars via photosynthesis.
Yep. And then roots typically lies between the surface of the soil, but can also be aerial. Functions are they absorb water and mineral salts, they anchor the plant and may store food for overwintering, and may provide means for reproduction. So look at the little diagram there. The little part that's coming out of the roots is the old stem. The little green part is the new shoot from bud. The small green things is the bud on the root tuber. And then the little testicle looking things is a swollen root, which is called a tuber.
Nice, guys.
And then a development of a root system. Most terrestrial plants have a true root system. After regeneration of seed, two types of root systems develop: taproot and fibrous. Taproot systems, primary roots remain the largest, grows vertically downward with a number of small secondary roots. Lateral roots are performed from it. Dicotyledons produce taproots. Fibrous root system. It has a large number of roots nearly equal in size and is found in monotyledons.
Okay, so the regions of roots. There are 5 or 6 distinct regions. A region of cell division. This lies between the root tip that is protected by a root cap. This is known as apical meristem, which is a tissue that is actively divides. The second one is the region of cell elongation. Third one is region of differentiation, and this includes cells here differentiate, and the primary xylem and phloem can be seen here. The fourth one is root hairs, which is simple extension of epidermal cells. And should I label it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the entire top half is called the zone of differentiation, which includes so you see the outline, you see where every outline ends. That is called epidermis. The inside is called the cortex. The hair on the outside is called the root hairs. The out the outline of the inside is the phloem tubes, and the innermost area is the xylem, which is water transport. Then you have half of the second part and a little bit of the first part. That is called the zone of elongation. And the bottom part, which is a small little bit at the end, is called the zone of cell division. This is where there's a root cap and there's a little hole on the inside, which is called the meristem. So, number 5, region of mature primary permanent tissues. This includes where all parts of the vascular stelae, cortex, and epidermis are obvious. And number 6, which is the final one, is secondary xylem and phloem add width to the roots. It's the same image.
Yeah. Then the cross section of dicotyledon roots. Um, Outside surface of the primary root, they have a slender tubular extensions of the epidermal cells that form root hairs, which are short-lived. Um, as the root grows, new epidermal cells emerge and form new root hairs, replacing dying ones. The functions are that they are responsible for the absorption of water and dissolved mineral salts, and the root hairs increase the rate of absorption. So if you look at the little diagram, the epidermis is the outermost layer. The phloem is the inner layer of the little circle things. The xylem is
I'm
the
going to be honest with you. I don't think Mem wants expects us to label this because there's
okay.
so many things to label. There's no way she expects us to label it.
Okay. And then the root hairs lie beneath the epidermis. It makes up most of the primary root. It consists of parenchyma cells that with large intracellular air spaces. The endodermis is the thin layer of tightly packed cells which form the innermost part of the cortex. Um, the endodermal cells have Casparian strips, a thick waterproof waxy band in the radial walls. The functions are that they conduct water and dissolve minerals across the roots from the epidermis to the vascular cylinder. The parenchyma cells store food, which is starch, transported from the leaves. The endodermis regulates water and mineral flow between the cortex and the stellae.
So, stems. Aerial part of the plant that bears leaves and flowers. So, it can be divided into two separate parts: the nodes and the innermost and the inner nodes. So, the nodes are points where leaves are attached, and the internodes is length of stem between nodes. So, the functions: it provides support for leaves and flowers. It conducts water and minerals from the roots to the leaves for photosynthesis. So think of the stems like a transport system. Three, it conduct food and other metabolites to areas where they can be used. And four, they can store food, for example, starch and sometimes water. I think we need to look at the label for this one. So those are the leaves. In between each leaf is the internode, and where every leaf starts is just the node. The entire thing is the stem, and yeah. So, cross cross section of dicotyledonous stem. So, the tissues are distributed as follows: the pith is the central core of parenchyma cells. Next is the vascular bundles are arranged in a ring around the pith and consists of xylem on the inside, phloem on the outside, because remember, the xylem was always inside and phloem is always outside, because xylem is dead cells, phloem is living cells. Anyways, vascular cambium is a ring of meristematic cells between the xylem and the phloem, and a sclerenchyma cap on the outside of the phloem. In woody stem plants, a variety of secondary tissues are added to these primary tissues. The vascular cambium gives rise to secondary phloem on the outside and secondary xylem on the inside. Wood of trees.
Give me like 2 seconds, okay?
Okay. Take as long as you need, bro.
Robots. Okay. Um, do you want me to label that?
You don't need to.
Okay. So then the secondary thickening.
Wait. Can you give me 2 seconds now?
Sure. So the secondary thickening or the growth in dicotyledonous plants. Primary growth is the growth from apical meristems and causes elongation of roots, stems, and shoots. Secondary growth, which is secondary thickening, is all growth in diameter in stems or roots resulting from the formation of new woody tissue by repeated division of cambium cells, uh, laid laid down in the form of concentric cylinders, which in trees forms annularines. As a result, the stem increases in thickness. Do you want me to label?
No, still, you don't need to.
Okay. Then
Okay, how about
annularine.
this, Drew? How
Hello.
about this?
Hello.
Were there any diagrams that's in the slides that ma'am specified she wants us to learn that's not in the book?
No.
So then why don't we just skip everything that we need to label, and at the end of everything, we'll go to the book to label.
Sure.
Yeah. It's me now.
No. And then. Oh, wait, yeah, it is. Never mind. No, I'll wait. Um, Annual ring or growth uh, is a new layer of wood produced during one tree's growing season each year. What does annual ring consist of? Each ring consists of two colors of wood. A wider light color, which is spring wood. It grows quickly in spring with large, thin-walled xylem cells. Remember, xylem are dead cells. A
Uh-huh.
narrow, dark summer wood forms as the season progresses. It is denser because it grows slow. Uh, the xylem cells are smaller with walls that are thicker and darker.
Okay. So, secondary growth and climate change. So, the shape and width of annual rings can differ each year as a result of varying growth conditions. Generally, wide rings indicate a wet season for growth, and narrow rings recording a dry growing season. Annual rings can therefore be used to study past climates. Dendrochronology. Dendrochronology is the study of climate change as recorded by tree growth rings. So, economic uses of plants related to their an, anatomy. Anatomy. So, plants are extremely important economy because they provide food and raw materials for many industries. Without plants, humans and animals could not survive. Apart from food production, plants are also used to produce many commercial products, mainly through plant fibers and wood.
Yeah. So plant fibers. Plant fibers are used to manufacture products such as paper, textiles, and baskets. Structure of plant fibers. Plant fibers consist mainly of sclerenchyma cells and secondary xylem cells. These cells have thick walls containing cellulose and or lignin, which make fibers strong and durable. Fibers can occur in many parts of a plant: the stem, leaves, fruits, and seeds. Paper. You really have to know all of this.
I don't actually think we need to know paper reduction, source of paper pulp. Go to no, I remember